What's going on, guys? Good morning. It is the 5th of February, Sunday morning, right about 9 o'clock or so on the East Coast. Guys, we are looking back at Casper this morning. Ticker symbol CSPRUSDT. This is Tether, Casper Tether. Daily chart, tradingview.com. Finally, getting some movement to the upside for the Casper / Tether pair. As you can see here, we are heading up here. Guys, welcome to the channel. Appreciate all of the 1,200 or so subscribers. Appreciate it. So let's take a little bit of a dive into some recent price action for the Casper chart. It has taken a while to get back up to this level, this 415 level. If you've been following the Casper videos, then you're pretty familiar with all of these white lines on the chart. These are all support and resistance levels on my chart, and we're finally back up to the 415, although getting pushed back down, of course, as the rest of the markets are showing a little bit of red this morning on this Sunday, late in the weekend, Sunday morning. So Casper finally found support at our 363 level, which is right here. We've been speaking about that pretty much since, let's see, what date is this here? But pretty much early January. So it's been, a solid 17, 18 days or so since we've been talking about that. So finally, the price could break out above the 363, 366 level and find support, as it should. Prices below the market, price levels below the market I have on my chart act as, well, one, they could act as targets as price either pulls back to or approaches them, but then you also want to see support show up because they're below the market. So we had support show up at those two levels, and then we traded higher, as it should, because it turned it into support. And then on today's candle, which is the 5th of February, we get some follow through to the upside, as it should, and finding resistance at our upper target because it's one, it's a target, two, it's overhead resistance for a period of time. We don't know how long that period of time will be, but we usually will get a reaction at that area, and then from there we reassess. So what's happening right now is we're getting that reaction at that 415 area, and the reaction is resistance to pushing back down. So we wicked up to a high today of 419, and we are currently back down there below 4. We're at 396. Exactly what these price levels do is what's happening right now. Price approaches will usually hit or get very close to our level, and then we'll see a reaction for a period of time. The same thing happened over here on the 18th of January. Right here, guys. The price traded up to a high of 420, our levels at 415, and it pushed back down as resistance. And the period of time is what I was just talking about, is we don't know how long that'll be resistance. Well, apparently it was resistance all the way up until today, guys. So that was 18 days of resistance. And why was it 18 days? Because it took 18 trading days for us to get back up to that 415 level. So we don't know how long that period of time will be. Excuse my phone. We don't know how long that period of time will be. Could be a couple hours, could be a couple weeks, or a couple months. So like today, we're finding resistance at 415. We could trade all the way back up and get back above 415 and close. And the resistance was just, 12 hours or so, whatever it is for today. So anyways, that is our current resistance. And that also is a double top so far. So perhaps the price gets up to 415, pulls back for a period of time, relaxes, and then breaks back out, gets us up into that 435 range, 466 range, and stuff like that. Depends on what the rest of the market does. Of course, if the market's going to pull back a bit, we're getting some decent little pullbacks in some cryptos, then that won't help Casper head to the upside. Of course, some of these coins can kind of run on their own when Bitcoin rolls over, but the majority, what Bitcoin does kind of carries over to the rest of the market. So hopefully you've been following these videos, these Casper videos, and you are positioned already long from much lower levels, down there at 313, 310, down there in the 262 range. But if you're not, there is something I want to mention that we've been talking about in the past couple Casper videos. Guys, if you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and join us. 82%, I believe it is, of my viewers are not yet subscribed to the channel. Pretty interesting. So we have this giant cup with handle here. So if you are looking to get long Casper, giant cup with handle, there's the cup, there's the handle. The entry or the buy point for this chart pattern. Now, I'm not recommending you buy this at this price. I'm just telling you what the chart is telling us. Is the entry for that cup with handle would be, at least in my interpretation, would be the 18th of January at a high of 420. So right here, the high for the cup with handle will be the left-hand side of the high. The entry, I should say, for the cup with handle will be the high of the handle, which is that 420 area right here on the 18th of January. And what happened today? Let's see. Today we actually hit 419. So we didn't hit the entry. Very, very close. Very, very close. And then price backed away. So keep an eye on that 420 area. You could potentially use that as an area to buy your position. You could use that as an area to add to a position. You could just watch that area for pure enjoyment. But we should get a reaction when we break that level. Sometimes when stocks and cryptos break important price areas, you'll usually get a pretty strong reaction in the opposite direction for a period of time. And then it will reverse back in the direction that you're looking for. So what I mean by that is we could get a break above 420, kind of get a strong push back, and then continue back to the upside. And sometimes that can just be a couple minutes, it could be a couple hours, it can be a couple days. So like today's candle actually could close as resistance at 415. Keep in mind, we didn't hit our 420 entry. And like this candle doesn't look too bullish, but then we could get tomorrow's candle that is the exact opposite. It actually follows through and has a massive breakout. So chart patterns are deceiving sometimes, and the way the markets work, it's interesting. And sometimes sometimes the charts, I think, are there to confuse most of the investors. And that's where like taking a position with a specific stop in place, you just take it no matter what. And if you get stopped out, that's fine. You reestablish, but that'll usually keep you in. It'll help it basically does the decision making for you. So some key takeaway, guys, is we have resistance at 415. So we want to see that get breached to the upside, and we want to close above that. That tells us that we're probably heading higher to the next level, which is 435. And above that, 466. And then we're back into these major highs over here, which is that 522, 509 level. That's something to keep your eye on. Number two is if we start to get back close to that 419 area, that cup with handle entry, look for pretty much some volatility to show up on the chart. We could see some wild swings. We could see a massive break to the upside. Just keep an eye on it. And that price I said is 420. So that's kind of the takeaways for Casper. It's taken a while to finally get back above 366 and 363. And we're heading up as the price should, right up to our next resistance level, which is 415, getting a reaction as we should, all normal trading. We just don't know how long this reaction will be, if it's going to pull back further or not, or just re-breach that level today. And then also keep your eye on that 420, which is on the 17th of January entry price for the big cup with handle pattern. So I see this so far as a bullish chart pattern taking a long time. And like I said, if the rest of the markets continue their uptrend, then I see no reason why Casper is not going to have a big breakout to the upside. Will we see it tonight? Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it, but it looks pretty bullish to me, and we are excited to see this thing make some runs to some much higher prices. All right, guys, appreciate you checking out the channel and the video. Like I said, if you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and consider doing so. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments for Casper, the market. Anything else you want to share, feel free to do it down in the comments. I try to get back to all of the comments and usually do. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll catch you guys in the next video.